It's uh it's Monday, January the 2nd, 2023, and welcome to Drawing for Tattooers. With me this morning we've got Elise and then Gabe's in the background, so make sure to say hi to Gabe, everybody. Say hi to good morning to Elise.
Hello.
There you saw him for a moment, the elusive Gabe. Um, but yeah, this is our first show of the new year, and and I'm so excited for a whole new year of drawing for tattooers. We got another guest with us. Um, so Amber's here joining us now. We'll say hi to Amber. Um, yeah, again, and good morning, everybody. There's
Good
Amber. Hey,
morning.
good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
Um, I am going to uh, I'm just gonna start reading these announcements and get that part out of the way because it's really important, right? It's our introduction to the show and our welcome to the community. So again, I'm just gonna say good morning, everyone, and welcome to Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join these live stream and real world events. Um, Ultimately, our goal is to inspire and create better art and tattoos together. So, good morning. Spirit is here, everybody. We beam out nearly every single day. With your help, we've evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on demand tattoo and art shows. You can find more at Reinventing the Tattoo. Let's see, let's see if I can share my screen. Share it. Cool. So, yeah, here's the site,
You could full
reinventingthetattoo.com.
screen that because we're seeing your background too. Oh no, is
Thanks.
that true? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so reinventingthetattoo.com, um, where you can find more about the canon as well as courses and news, including our shows that we stream out nearly every single day. And if you'd like to join, you can find the event schedule here at the bottom of the homepage. All right, so we have a number of weekly staple shows, and we encourage people to to tune in. So Sundays, starting at 1 p.m. with Jason Leeser, we have the skill building uh, drawing group. That's followed on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, drawing for tattooers with James Wisdom. That's me. That's this show. So you're here. On Mondays at 11, uh, uh, we have the Tattoo Weekly, hosted by Lauren Gregory, Jake Meeks, and Gabe Ripley. At 5 p.m., we have Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. And at 9 p.m. on Mondays, we have the subscribers exclusive drawing group, hosted by Guy Atchison and Sandy McAndrew, as well as a host of others this semester. It's been really great. So on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., we have the Tuesday Feels Drawing Group with Ricardo Sturdivant. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., we have the Tattoo Now show, um, hosted by Gabe Ripley. And then at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast, hosted by Fawn Baker. So we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Tattoo Now. Tattoo Now is technology for tattooers. It's the leading edge of professional development management and digital tools for tattoo artists of all levels. They have upgrades, customer relations management software, professional development tools. So take your business to the next level with tattoonow.com. And then, of course, we want to thank Guy Atchison for being the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. You can learn more about Guy Atchison at guyatchison.com, where you can find tattoo educational material, machines, oil paintings, as well as prints. So learn more about Guy at guyatchison.com, and then, of course, reinventingthetattoo.com. And all right, so good. All right, so we're here. It's great to have you all, and welcome, everyone.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hope everybody had a really great
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Gabe. Hope everyone had a great holiday season, and got a chance to took a week off, so got a chance to recharge the batteries and get caught up with all kinds of all kinds of stuff. Um, oh, so I am I'm just really really excited about this. This new year, and my thought is that I want to basically treat it like a new semester and start off with some of the basic stuff again, and then just work steadily up until we get to more advanced things. That's going to be I think that's going to be the trajectory that I'd like to sort of set. And I also feel like that's the way that I've learned the most as well, is sort of constantly revisiting the basic things and reworking through them, because we're always students. You know what I mean? We're always learning. And then I think the more that you can get back to the basics, the more advanced your projects really become. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's like all the tricks and stuff in the world, they're not really going to do it for you, right? It's your knowledge that's really gonna it's really gonna give you the edge. I think knowledge and the tips and tricks probably they have to work together. You know what I mean?
You have to add the tips and tricks to the fundamentals.
Right. I think it's it's all it's like you have to have a structure there underneath to support what it is that you're the gesture, right? What it is that you're going to say. It's like I was reading a book, and this over the break, and there was kind of this horror story about art school, and and the thing was that art school kind of robbed this student of being able to draw the dog, right? And, instead they're worrying about shapes and forms and stuff. And I kind of thought of it well, you're never actually drawing the dog, right? You're never, you're actually, you're trying to convey this idea to your audience. And so, if you just draw haphazardly and, with emotion, something really beautiful could come out of that. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. But the more that you learn how to express, visually what it is through a visual language, what it is you're trying to say, the more capacity you will have to express yourself. I believe it. So anyway, it's that basic visual grammar, if you like, that we want to keep working through, and I think building that slowly, I think is going to help us. It's going to help us all just feel more confident, and then also be more effective as artists and communicators. So so I hope you're into it, and I hope that you all want to join along, and you find something valuable and rewarding from from the subjects matters that we're going to be talking about. So anyway.
I'm incredibly excited about that itself, because just to know that it is just the basics, and that there is advanced stuff, but if I could just get the basics down, then, because, and you're right, it's so for me, this is why that's exciting. Because I every time I tried to learn more about art, and I would read books, I would go to art teacher, they would always go back to the basics. And I was like, this is not what I want. Give me some show me how Da Vinci does it, And so as a result, you know, I'm 42 now, and I'm just still like, what is going on? How I can't draw what's in my head yet, you know? And every time I get back to it, it's just like, you got to do the basics. So for me to have been taking this class and have been so into it, to know it, that's just what it is. You just got to stay with the basics. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually pretty exciting. And I'll just add that that's how the brain works. You know, it's like you just got to kind of keep mulling over things until they become second nature. You know, and we just happen to be so lucky that the laws of physics obey the same rules. You know, like a shadow is a shadow. You know, and it follows all the same rules all the time. You know. Unless it's like underwater and stuff like that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're muted. Spirit.
You muted yourself, Spirit.
Oh, sorry. I said unless it's underwater or something, you know what I mean?
And then all bets are over.
Yeah. But even then, underwater, it follows the same rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's still some basic things that we can, you know. Well, there's still this without any, you know, without too many preconceptions. You know, we want to approach it. We want to like try to break it down and try to be, you know, like I think that's the way you grow up too. You know, you learn how to abstract. You know, from the bright and colorful world. You know, like it turns into gray, and the gray structure of things. But that's really growing up. I think that's really. And that's how you can be, you know, start to mature what it is that you're actually saying through your art. And then, I mean, of course, you can always allude to that. That's, you know, I think a lot of times people, you know, they look at contemporary art and they might sort of see like somebody does this, you know, bright, colorful scribble. It's kind of a contrived way to think about like being a kid again or something like that. Maybe that's what maybe they're reacting in a negative way if they don't like it, you know, that way. But again, it's a representation, just like the representations that we all really like to make, I think. So I don't think you get out of that. I don't think you get away. You never fully get away from representing things. So anyway, just the more tools you have to work with, I think the stronger the thing can become. And then, you know, and always going back and questioning, you know, how you do things and how you can achieve, you know, different results. That's a really scientific approach, I think. You know, it's like you're not settling. You're trying to have a mind that, you know, that's interested in, you know, finding some kind of truth through the illusion of representation, I guess. So
it's an illusion. It's an illusion.
It is an illusion.
Yes, it is.
Oh God, it's so
yeah, it's an illusion. So anyway, I guess I just thank you, Spirit, so much for what you said. I really appreciate that, and I think that's, you know, I couldn't have said it better myself. So I really appreciate that.
Cool, man.
Hey, Steven, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you guys today?
Pretty good. Can't
Fantastic.
complain.
We're all excited. Monday excited, I think. It's Monday morning. So, but I really do look forward to this. And so I missed y'all last week, but this is, you know, it's really great that everybody came and stuff like that. And, well, so self-portraits, that was that was kind of our final assignment for last year. I'll put you all on the spot, but if you didn't get a chance to do it, I get it. It's
This assignment totally
busy,
scared the shit out of me.
Amber, I saw yours on Instagram. I'm so excited. I know you did a beautiful self-portrait. So
I haven't done a self-portrait in 25 years. I was scared shitless.
so no, talk more about that. I'd love to hear more about it. So you were.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do it over the break. I did it on New Year's Eve.
That's cool.
I'm a procrastinator and I seem to work better under pressure. And I wish I didn't, because I'd love to just take lots of time on projects, but I never do. I never do. I seem to knock things out better when I'm under pressure, and I'm like, I will have this done before 2022 is over. I am not going to let this go until 2023. So I don't even think it looks like me, but I knocked it out.
That's funny. No, it's sort of like, well, that's the thing too. When hear a recording of your own voice, it's like, is that what it sound like?
Yeah, I still can't watch myself on the replays. I fast forward through anything I'm talking because it weirds me out.
Yeah, I can relate. I definitely can. Well, I'd love to show off what you did. I think, so I think, like, as far as the procrastination part goes, you actually set yourself a kind of a fake goal, like 2022. You wanted to get it done before then. Well,
Yeah.
that was hours or days before we got together. So you know what I mean? So it wasn't like you like anyway, what I'm saying is that, like, I think that's a useful, especially if you're not alone in feeling that way. That,
Yeah.
like, having that little that 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 experience of, like, I'm really anxious, and that's what prompts you to get things going.
Hmm.
I think is it's certainly something that I work with, and that I deal with personally. And so if any of you feel that way, yeah, we're not alone. I think we can relate.
You're not alone, Amber. Not at all.
Not at all.
Good.
I have to set fake deadlines for myself. Like, I tell somebody else, I'm like, you need to hold me accountable that I said I'm going to do this by this day. So then I have
Yeah.
the pre-anxiety of now they're expecting me to have something done. So now I
Yes.
have 2 deadlines. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a really great strategy to use. I mean, you're you know yourself in that way.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Mm.
That's really important. You got to know yourself, and then it's sort of funny. It's like, because you know that, well, now you actually do have. You end up having more time to do things. You can go back, and you can work on things thoroughly, or you can work on them in stages. The more that you can, work with the way that you work, the more that you're going to, I think, uh, just get a handle on it. It like that symptom, as you describe it, is like, could be your strength. You know what I mean? It could really be it could really be a strong suit.
I'm always
really
up the night before tweaking tattoos designs and creating the stencil and getting everything set. Like, I could have done this 3 days ago, but no, I have to do it the night before the tattoos.
I'll be doing it the day of.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But it's nice too. It's, what, it feels really good. And so it feels really good to be prepared, especially for, like, a tattoo. Somebody comes in, you know, I think it's nice that sometimes it's nice to really share it with them first. Let them see it, let them approve it. So they come in, they kind of know what's going on. Sometimes they've had a chance to think about it, and they have some feedback. As the client has a little bit of feedback. Hey, do you think you could change this part? Or,
Can you make it 10% bigger?
sure,
Just 10%.
their piece. Yeah, it's their piece. It's, and I think so important the way that, like, the audience feels about the work. Kind
Yeah.
of like, so if
It's going to be on their body forever.
sure.
Yeah.
Or if it's a commission or something like that, it's going to be, they're going to feel a certain way about it. And not everybody's going to feel the same way. They're going to have to deal with it. Like, if they're wearing this tattoo art, like, somebody could give them criticism about it, like, and they're going to have to, like, have the strength and the armor to sort of deal with that. And so I think it's a big part of our job to, we do our best, but also, like, there's just a bit of, like, reinforcement, I think, that we ensure that it's, is the best possible, meeting of the minds, alignment of values as you can, I suppose, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So,
Mm.
yeah. All right. So enough of that. Let's check out your drawing, Amber, please. If you wouldn't mind, you can show it to us.
Sure.
Let me pin you so that way.
All right.
Hold on a second. Yeah, cool.
You know, I
Oh.
never realized how asymmetrical my face was until I decided to draw it.
Mhm.
So how did you draw? Did you use a photograph? Did you use a mirror?
Mirror.
It's tough. That's so tough. But I think
Yeah, I like to make work
turned
for
out
myself.
really well. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it turned out. It's beautiful drawing.
I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
talk
my
about your
nose is a
experience.
little too long.
Mm.
Like my nose is shorter and a little more squat. But I noticed it after I rendered it and it was too late to move it up.
It also could be the fact that you don't have your glasses on in the drawing.
Yeah, I can't see with my glasses on to be able to draw. They're just for farsightedness. So
Yeah, so I think, like I want to encourage you and really like, give you kudos for doing the project. I usually don't even, you know, I don't even criticize these, like, usually I think what these self-portraits are really good for is is sort of a longer view. Like you do them and then you invest, you kind of you investigate it later. Like you go back to it. And it's real funny because like as time goes by and you sort of you change, your thinking sort of evolves and stuff. It's like the things that you get hung up on while you're doing it, you realize they're not as important. But then other stuff comes up, you know what I mean? You look at it like, oh, wait a minute, there's this whole thing I didn't really notice at the time. Or, or look at this area or this aspect of it. This was really, this was well handled, or I did a really good job. So I think that they're moments in time, right? That's like a moment in time. And I had a teacher that really described it really beautifully for me. You know, we were talking about like asking me like, why do you want to be an artist at all? I was like, I don't know. Like, I
I
don't know.
have to be.
You know
If
what I
I
mean?
don't, I'll explode.
If
Yeah,
anybody
I
asks
have to be.
me,
That's a great
I
answer.
right? Well,
I have to be.
I started talking about what I really like to do. I'm like, there's moments when I'm just so in love with what I do, and like I love I love painting the highlight. You know what I mean? Like putting on the highlight on something. And she says, like, that's it, It's a moment in time. You're capturing this moment in time, and it's like that's, you're recording that. This is, that's your. It's important to pay attention to those things that you pay attention to, and so that's what I think. That's what was really valuable about doing. Any of your work is going to really be like that, but especially like I think something so personal, so portrait. So I think it's um, I wish I wish that I could say I've done one every year. You know what I mean? But like that's what a great like practice every year to do that. And you have this really big catalog of ones you've done. So I've done a few throughout my life, but so there's a little bit of like you can call it progression, or at least I can have this sort of I guess those moments that I can sort of look back on. But I think if you could be disciplined and give yourself that deadline of I'm going to do it every, after a while, it might really be something that you get a lot from. So, but I want to thank you very much for doing it. I thought it was, it's cool drawing, and even the added difficulty of using the mirror. I think you get a lot out of that part of it. You know
Yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
feel like I finally got to draw what you see, not what you think you see.
Mhm.
I feel like I really got it when I was doing it in the mirror.
That's such an important point to draw really try to capture what it is that you're seeing.
Yeah,
It's-
Medusa had mentioned that on Jason's podcast yesterday,
Oh,
and
that's
we were
cool.
talking about it. And I really feel like I got that concept when I was doing this.
Medusa's very, very wise. So
Yes.
really great. Yeah, it's really great. So I guess I just, I think I want to cover that sort of that concept as, today, as we're talking about like the thing I want to talk about today. But yeah, it was really interesting. And I keep coming back to this. It's that our, of course we're getting like information through our eyes, right? We're seeing light comes in and, you know, and that's how our vision works. But what we're seeing is completely stitched together, contrived in our imaginations. So it's even more difficult to draw what it is you see. You know what I mean? It's like you have to sort of get rid of what it is you're actually seeing and sort of see, an abstracted thing of it. That's what that means. You're abstracting, it's like of course you're seeing something, shapes.
Because we only see in 2 dimensions.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like we don't, like if we saw in 3 dimensions, you would be able to see like the back of my head. Right. But the only reason we think we see in 3 dimensions is because the way the light hits us. You know what I mean? Light is it's an actual physical particle. Like it's a physical thing, and it interacts with physical things the way physical things would interact with each other. Like if you look at like, there's a video of a camera that it has like 1 million shutters per second. And they were able to see what light does to things. And it actually performs the way you think, like if you threw something that is kind of like it's almost like a liquid, right? It performs like a wave. And so it's like this big giant ball of goo that just kind of would interact with things the way you would think something that would interact with something. Yeah, that's all I got.
No, I love that.
Cool.
And so I think that part of it is there's a truth to it, but it's so far down the line of our experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so far away from what we, like we can know it, and it helps us to sort of capture things in a certain way. But it's like when I'm looking at something, it's like there's going to be some kind of language that's just that describes it. There's a name to things. Like I'm drawing spirit, so now I'm like drawing your eye, or now I'm drawing your your glasses or something like that. And it's like, again, you're kind of like, you have to stop and think, I'm not drawing these glasses. I'm drawing the shapes and stuff. This is what I'm trying to capture. Sort of this abstracted version, this 2-dimensional version of it, rather than my imagined, you know what I mean? Like what I think something looks like. It's like getting away from the imagination, because there's also there's a disconnect too. You have to look, analyze, stop, move your hand. You know what I mean? So there's so many steps to it. It is it takes a lot of brain power to to do that. So I think
Yes.
it's no easy task. But with practice, you become more adept at being able to express those things. This what we were talking about earlier. So, any other portraits? Does anybody else have a portrait they want to share?
Did someone say something?
Oh,
I thought
I said I'll go.
Cool.
But I'm just trying to find the. So somebody else can go. I'm just trying to find the camera thing so I can show y'all.
Okay, I can show mine. Mine's not done, so I don't have eyebrows yet. But
Let's see here. Let me
here we go.
spotlight.
1 minute. Can you see? There we go.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I did mine
Nice.
from a photo. just because I've been bopping around trying to see people before school starts. So I needed to be able to carry it around with me. So my process for it, I actually broke down the photo that I did
Nice.
Nice.
before
Actually, go ahead and turn
I
it on.
drew it, so that I could kind of plot out like where each of the bits of my face were.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll
Could you,
hopefully finish
can I
it.
see that again?
Yeah.
The grid. I like the grid. That's cool.
Okay. Technology isn't working today. There we go. So I just plotted out like where my eyebrows, my eyes, my nose, and my mouth were. I just tried to like line it up so I could recreate it.
Yeah, that's nice. I've never seen it
Mhm.
before. Cool.
Yeah, I like the approach, and I think you know this is a part of again, like you take it and you kind of take what you can and try to discover, and that's I think what that was the whole point of doing this. You know what I mean? It was is discovering, and then of course like there's you know through that effort, again you learn more about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Really, which is the most important probably thing to learn about.
Yeah.
So
It was actually nice doing this because this is the first time I've done a self-portrait not sick. All the other times I've had to do it for class, I was horribly sick. So I think some of that came through in them. So this time I was not sick. So it was very nice not doing it with a head cold.
well, yeah, those are again those moments in time. You probably like you go right back to that experience as soon as you see it. There's such a strong connection to
Yeah.
to visuals and stuff. So I loved it. I thought that was very cool, and I liked your analytical approach to it. So I think uh, yeah, again, there's I think revisit this and keep going back to it. I think over time, and again keep practicing it, keep doing it. I think that's the it's so valuable, right? Even if it's not something that you ever this isn't what you sell or something like that. It's not what you do for
Mm-hmm.
money. It's like it's the part of your art practice that's
Yeah.
you really fulfilling and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
but thank you, yeah, thank you for doing it. So, Spirit, you got one?
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys check out the little I sent the video in the chat so you can see it.
All right, let me see here. I know that you sent it. Let me. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, if you could pull it up, that would be cool, huh?
Let me see here. Maybe I might be able to.
Ah.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Low motion camera where we can see photons or light particles moving through space. Now you have seen Dr. Jordan's pictures of a bullet through an apple, but photons travel about 1,000,000 times faster than bullets. So our camera can see these photons or bullets of light traveling through space.
We use a very regular pulsed light source and a camera that is not one camera, but an array of 500 sensors, each triggered at a trillionth of a second delay. So even though each of our sensors is slow, we can still capture a fast movie. I'm standing next to our laboratory setup here. This is our camera. Objective is in the front here. The body of the camera is much larger than what you would expect from a regular camera like the one over here. Our light source is a titanium sapphire laser that's over here, and it emits a beam of very, very short pulses, and that those pulses are then directed to the scene with these mirrors. Now, Our camera only sees one dimension. So it makes a fast movie, but it makes a fast movie of one line of the scene only. And in order to fix that, we have these two mirrors here. We look at the scene via these two mirrors, and when we rotate this upper mirror here, we actually see different lines of the scene. So what's happening is the camera keeps taking images, and we very slowly rotate this mirror to scan our field of view across the entire scene. And because all of our pulses look the same, we can in the end go and combine all these images that we took to get one complete movie of the scene.
Such a camera is useful in medical imaging, in industrial or scientific use, and the future even for consumer photography. In medical imaging, now we can do ultrasound with light because we can analyze how light will scatter volumetrically inside the body. In industrial imaging, one can use the scattered light to analyze defects in materials. And in consumer photography, we are always fascinated with creating lighting effects that appear to come from very sophisticated light sources. But because we can watch photons seemingly moving through the space, we can analyze the transport, the movement of these photons, and create new photographs as if we had created those expensive light sources in a studio.
Whoa,
So cool.
that was wild.
That was a great recommendation.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
In the early 1960s,
Uh-oh.
Professor Harold Edgerton pushed the boundaries.
Medusa.
Got it. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, Medusa.
Good morning.
Morning. I didn't realize that you guys start so early.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what you gotta do, right? If you wanna if you wanna draw like
If I want to
your
draw with the
best.
cool kids, I gotta wake up at 5:30 a.m.
No,
Or move
so
to the
cool you
East
could
Coast so
join.
you can sleep in.
Yeah. So cool you could join us. Spirit, you wanna I got you on Spotlight.
Oh, all right, yeah. So this was a fun project. Let's see, here we go. Do-do-do-do-do.
Awesome.
Nice.
I did it with crayon. I didn't have any other artistic supplies near, and I just had this really burning desire to do the project. So I just grabbed a crayon and a mirror and went to town. First portrait. It was I thought that it would come out a lot more wonky than it did. And until I realized our eyes really about are the center of our face. Like we're mostly, it's like we're half forehead. Like we're always talking about people with big foreheads and whatnot. But right. It's the whole half of our face. And so, but you don't realize it until you draw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff is down here, so it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, these are just the ways that the brain can see, smell, and taste and talk, so it kind of would make sense that they're all just kind of in the same little area, like right under the brain, you know what I mean? So there's that. So this was my first one. I did it 2 other times, but I left my notebook at the shop. I'll post. I'd still like to show them off. I'll post them on Instagram.
I'm just that's awesome that you were like you kept working through it, but like I love what you did. Great symmetry, great sense of symmetry in there, and then of course I think just really like observing at least that there's these proportional relationships, that there's a ratio, there's a proportion, and people are going to like deviate slightly, between them, and that's what gives this individuality to any subject, right? We're not all the same. We're not all like there isn't this perfection, perfectly imperfect, I suppose, you know what I mean, to use a cliche, but that's that's where you can start to learn how to express this visual grammar. I think is is being able to represent symmetry, being able to represent a relationship, and that's certainly what I feel like you were able to achieve with that. Was so it had all the spacing, and I think too it's with more practice and stuff like that at it, it's like it's just going to keep getting better and better. So I
Cool.
really thanks for doing it. Really great job. So
Totally. Thank you.
love to see the other ones too. So definitely
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
encouraged to show those as well. So
The last one was hard. I don't know why the last one didn't come. The second, I was proud of the second one. The last one was like, I thought I was a beast. I was like, oh, I'm a dope. I could do portraits now, and I didn't know. It was like, more practice, sir.
no, great work. Seriously, great work.
Thank you.
Any others? Anybody else? Steven, did you get a chance to do one?
I did not do one.
No worries. Yeah, no worries. But I hope that you do. I hope that you do take up the challenge at some point. You know what I mean? And like, just because it's did you ever have to do one at school or
So I actually did about 18 months of portrait drawing at a local gallery. I can show you some of my charcoal drawings and some of that if you guys want to see it. But
love
that's
to.
okay.
Yeah, love to.
Totally.
See what I got some hanging on the wall here.
Awesome. Here, I'm gonna put you on spotlight.
So it's the glare on the glass. This is
Nice.
Holy crap.
I love that.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
This is a Sigourney Weaver drawing that I did.
Mm.
White glare is
Oh, wow.
terrible. Sorry.
I still think we really get we can see it. Yeah, we get
Yeah, we can
that
get the gist of
level.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
So
These are oil paintings.
oh, my heart,
Oh.
Ooh.
Biggie.
Oh, dude, I'm working on a portrait of Biggie too. That's awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
I got a horse
Nice.
up. It's kind of hard to see from this angle.
We
But
got it.
anyway,
All
These are
right.
beautiful.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
you're a badass motherfucker. Noted.
Right. He just ain't want to do the portrait
Check.
assignment because he ain't want to sing for everybody.
He's like, I've already done this.
Right.
it's a whole lot different to draw it on paper. And like some of those projects I spent, some of those paintings I spent 40 hours on. And
Ooh,
it's
wow.
not the same to have somebody sitting in your chair and have to produce something permanent on them, and you can't paint over it, so I really struggle. But I don't do color portrait tattoos, but I'm not afraid to paint one, so I like to transition that though. Well, I guess I do stuff, but not like I ain't gonna put your daughter on you on a color portrait tattoo. So.
I guess I feel like I feel like you're so I've seen your tattoos and and your paintings and stuff, and you need to give yourself permission, I think, to go for it. Really.
really good.
I think you're very skilled and very experienced, and so I think that probably what it's going to take. You know what I mean, to achieve what it is that you're going to want. So it's great to be cautious and to sort of to have humility and I don't know. I guess I just feel like it's right there for you. You want it. I think you definitely should give yourself permission to to do that transition, to go for it, because I have all the confidence in the world for you, Stephen. So yeah, really excellent work. Just I think too. Again, like I think it's fun to do this self-portrait thing, but but it's about like it's just about personal growth. You know, it's just about that challenge, and you certainly do challenge yourself. Um, so yeah, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. It was really really wonderful to see your work and
Thank
um,
you.
yeah, oh, absolutely, super duper. Yeah, Medusa.
I don't have a self-portrait to share.
Okay.
I have shared, not on this class before, ballpoint pen, black and gray portraits, but I have a 75-minute oil study portrait, if I can share that.
We would love to see it.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Inconceivable. Yeah, it was
yeah,
You killed my brother.
awesome.
yeah. So this was
Revenge.
this was
El
timed
Montoya.
for 75 minutes as a practice in blocking down colors for portraits with oils a few months ago. And this is my first time on this class and I didn't have homework, but I want to be a part of it. So I just pulled that up.
That's yeah, it's a beautiful study, and it's because I feel like sometimes it's like the studies we make can they're be elevated right into art. Like we just say like, all right,
Yeah.
it was a study for you, but for anybody else, it's like, yeah, this is a work of art. Um, it's kind of funny. It's like what is a work of art? It's like what the artist says. It's a work of art, you know. Um, there's a humorous tale from art history of of um, of the artwork Fountain. And so Fountain his name escapes me right now. Um, Starts with a D. Can't think of it. Anyway, Fountain was a urinal that was like placed into the salon, and it was like, this is artwork. It wasn't accepted by everybody else's artwork, but that was the whole point. Is that it's the work of art. Who's the author? Right, the artist. The artist gets to say what the work of art is. So anyway,
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I love that Medusa. I thought that was like it was an excellent like painting, and you know, I yeah. Welcome to the class.
I don't know if I could have
Welcome
done
to
that in
the
oils in 75 minutes.
yeah.
Um, I think the goal for this one was more down for me to practice my color mixing and lay down block in the colors and the shapes. And I just happened to do a lot of that with enough time to spare to go in for details. So I think I'll actually give it more time and finish it up another time. But that was my first attempt at a color portrait. But before that, I had been practicing for several months with black and gray so that I could learn values and the shapes of those values as well.
That's a really good idea.
So that was my steps into portraiture, was starting with black and gray to learn the value system first, and then timing myself after I understood values to blocking in the shapes and colors. And then after that, going in with details. But yeah, you can't really do that on tattoos.
Yeah, well, I think it's like what you're suggesting though is where you would probably it's where you'd have to start if you wanted to achieve that in a tattoo. You'd have to sort of like be able to match that value, that color, and place it. So there's an application, right? So you apply it. So once you really get so familiar with how you apply tattoos, you get so familiar with how a particular hue, like any of your colors, is going to heal, right? Like just like painting, like it's going to dry a certain value, it's going to dry a certain temperature. The ink you use is going to heal a certain value, it's going to heal a certain temperature of color. So once you kind of have confidence in that familiarity, Of course, there's a little bit of mixing. You can blend things to a certain degree. Same thing with a painting. If you try to like blend everything with the brush, blend like an oil painting, it'll you can get this weird like flatness. You know what I mean? It loses all the life of the juicy oil. You know what I mean? So
Juicy.
it is. It can be like really wonderful paintings. I mean, of course, you can put varnish on them and stuff, but it's not the same as like it's having the oily surface of oil paintings. That there's something about it that really sort of reads to the imagination like flesh, or like like an object itself. So I go, when you go and see them, when you go see oil paintings in the museum, or sometimes they're in churches or something like that, or other galleries, wherever you find them, there can be this magical sort of thing that happens with light, right? When light sort of hits it, it goes into the surface of the paint, right? And it comes back out, because the oil paint is translucent, like our flesh is translucent, right? It's like it goes in and it reflects back out, right? And so there's so much more going on than just just at the surface, or just what appears at the surface. So the more that you I think the more that you practice it, again, you start to become familiar with it. You start to become sensitive to those things, and that's I think that can be really powerful. So, all right. So I did one too. I'll show mine real quick. Let me see here. Okay.
At least you're going to show it. Maybe not quick.
Did I say quick?
See, you said quick. That's the problem.
All right.
Nice.
So there's all right. So probably shouldn't have the like the comparison next to it, so you can see like what it what it isn't. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But,
it's almost
that
better
looks
to
good.
have it, right? I mean, if you're going
Yeah.
for
That's what I'm
photorealism,
saying.
to
I think it
critique
looks
without
great.
it.
thanks. Well, so I
Is
did
this
with a photograph rather than with the mirror. The one I showed last week was the mirror one, so I have done it.
And did you use any sort of like contouring, or did you just draw it by eye from a photo?
I drew it by eye.
Nice.
So, but I won't lie. I used liquify a little bit. I might actually, let's see.
So do we get to play the same or different game? Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
All right. So here,
cool.
here's my time lapse.
Oh, this is cool.
I like that your
Whoa.
head started as a house first.
Thanks.
The little roof and the walls.
I
Yeah,
really need to get
to
an
do it like that,
iPad.
that's wicked impressive. Obviously to tattoo, people are using all sorts of stencils, right? This is but doing it like this is perfect.
I love seeing the replay time lapses and seeing how people do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've tried to look at the time lapse for my own stuff and have just been like, what was I didn't, you can tell that I didn't know what I was doing most of the time.
Until that last few seconds when you get it right.
Yeah, when it all finally comes together. Oh, I like how you
Mhm.
flipped it to
I was
like
getting too. It was like too familiar. You know what I mean? I had
to refresh your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember I was struggling with a portrait of a Pris from that Harrison Ford movie. And Ricardo was I think it was Ricardo, somebody told me to flip it upside down.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
going to
think it was
wonder if
Ricardo.
And yeah, and that helped tremendously.
I did that a couple times
Blade
when I was
Runner,
looking
that's
in
the
the
movie.
mirror.
yeah, you can always hold, you can take a mirror too, you know what I mean? Look at it in a mirror, same sort of thing, but it's the actual, it's like physically changing your perspective on it, like turning upside down or like the mirror, something like that. You see it with, you know, without all the
So that's where
hang
you just used liquefy to.
Yeah, a
I
little
saw
bit.
it. I saw it
A
earlier. I
little
saw
bit.
it
You know
earlier
what
in the
though?
nose
It's
adjustment.
amazing because like just before you did that, I'm like, I think the proportion might just be a little bit off, but I'm not gonna fucking say anything, man. This is crazy good.
That's
And then
really
you're like,
dope.
I'm like, oh wait, it looks right.
No, thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that.
I love that you have
That's
like a
awesome. No,
Morpheus
it
thing
was
going on.
something that I've been talking about with you know, with some colleagues and stuff. Is using digital tools to draw with, right? And so, you know, I use paint and I use pencils and I use, you know, Photoshop and I use, you know, Procreate and stuff as well. So, and I guess I feel like, you know, we shouldn't, uh, you know, we shouldn't like look down on people for using digital tools over, you know, over paper and pencil and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't, you know, there shouldn't be a judgment about what it is you're doing. But of course, like, you know, um, it doesn't just do it for you, right? You know, like you need to learn how you need to learn work on your craft of drawing, right? And then the tools that you use are going to they're going to be more powerful, right? Especially, you know, for example, like, you know, in Procreate, like we can use the symmetry tool and it makes it like perfectly symmetrical. Well, you know, like if you know, depending on when you came up in the tattoo shop, you probably used tracing paper and folded it over and did, you know, symmetrical drawings that way, you know. But even if you didn't, even if you were just trying to capture something, you know, and generate symmetry, like we saw, you know, in our portraits today, you know, there are ways to go about it, right? There are approaches that you can use that are going to help you be more effective in the way you draw stuff. And, you know, so using your tools, again, it can become an effective way to get your point across. But you got to build your knowledge. You have to keep working at it. And then again, learn how to abstract things. That's really gonna be so crucial. So, um, well, I'm really excited about this year, this new year. We're I've got some lesson plans written up, which is probably a bit more organized than I was last semester. Let's call it right. But
Leveling up.
yeah, leveled up, right? Again, sort of
Hey.
it takes time. It takes time to develop your practice, and there's no reason to be in a hurry, right? It takes it takes diligence, and you know it's gonna take effort. But I'm excited to
Slowly is the quickest way to get to where you're going.
yeah,
Yeah.
slow and steady, maybe.
Yeah. Slow and steady.
Plenty of time to get there. Enjoy
Yeah.
the ride.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think that's a really great way to put it.
They
So
say you find your destiny on the road that you take to avoid it. That's from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Kung
it.
Fu Panda, possibly the best movie ever.
Oh, totally.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Taught me so much.
Mm,
There is
yeah.
no secret ingredient to the secret ingredient soup.
I like it.
Yep. Yeah, see, I'm learning things all the time here. Like I learned from each of you, and I think that's the I don't know, maybe that's how you be a teacher, you know, like you know by teaching and like and learning, like, and that's what all of you are interested in as well. I mean, you're all here because you want to like you know better yourself, but everybody comes with some you know with really profound things, really valuable insights. So I don't know. I appreciate all of you so much, and it's again, it's an honor to have you come and join me for this. So all right, I
It's a
have
pleasure, man. It's such a pleasure. So,
oh,
I'm
thanks.
so glad that that you had this inner desire to come through and just teach people all the stuff that you've learned. Uh, it shows that you have this burning desire to teach, and you're really good at it. So, I very much appreciate that calling within you.
I second that.
Thank you.
Third.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, unless there's somebody to teach,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Like in a
Mhm.
vacuum. So it takes others. Well, so this is what I wanted to just to this is what I wanted to sort of talk about just for a brief time today, and this is what I'm hoping that like if we're going to do some kind of a activity over the interim of next time we get together, homework it would be this. So I wanted to share just one more quick drawing with you. Did I say quick again? Anyway,
Mhm.
Just leading us
all right.
on.
So this is a drawing from my I don't know, like a first semester in drawing class or something like that. And so what I really what clicked for me with this particular drawing was the idea of alignment. So if I can, maybe I can. So alignment. Let's just sort of see. I can drop a vertical line down. So for instance, the corner of the eye right here aligns with the nostril here, with the corner of the mouth, with you know, trying to make it a straight line. So yeah, just a vertical line. Those alignments right there. Let's see, the top of this lid, I think maybe aligns with. Okay, I want to try to demonstrate whatever it is I'm talking about. Yeah, so the top of this lid aligns with the pupil there. So vertical, horizontal alignments. Maybe this one, maybe this goes maybe to that point or something. Of the uh, of the um, of the ear. Um, and then of course, like there was this. There was you can see this area here where I had really committed to drawing a hand and then was like, that's not right. So this was, it's on paper, so there's no liquify. You just got to erase that shit. And, you know, and so again, I was just dropping, I was looking at these alignments, between like, where does this, this line I had here, how does that relate to this, this part of the hand, maybe this outside part of the eye? Oh, it intersects with, this part of the knuckle. And then of course we can then start to find other alignments. This inside corner of the finger with that bottom part of that knuckle. It's finding those little points, right? It helped me to sort of grid out without drawing a whole grid. Like of course we could take a photo and we can like draw a bunch of squares and we could try to connect the dots and stuff. But rather than that, looking for some of that stuff, in your work. So, right. So horizontal, vertical, um, and what might also be, somewhat useful is starting to look for different diagonals as well. Perhaps there's diagonals that like are parallel, right? Like maybe make that a bit bolder so you can see it more, right? And then some diagonals that seem to work together. Where's another one? Maybe here. Maybe something like that. Maybe this.
Is
Um,
this, oh,
what's that?
I was going to ask if this relates to finding planes, because that's something I struggle with in portraits, is finding the planes.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as like, as far as finding the planes on, like in any subject or any situation, you're, you know, it's the light that describes it. So depending on how strong the light source is, that's where you're going to be able to find, the plane. But like,
Can you use alignments to map it out?
you can, if you for a head study, for if you're drawing, the body, knowing the anatomy will help, right? And so you can, mm, uh, so let's just say, for instance, like in this particular situation, there's I'll just use a box, right? Like so we can see like a cube or something like that. So we see the top of it. So as far as the head is concerned, right, there's the front of the head, right? There's the side of the head, right? In the front. We can see just maybe a little bit of the top. Um, uh, this is how you would sort of first think about the planes, right? The planes would be big ones first. So you just really kind of think about like where's the side of the head stop being the side and start becoming the front of the face. That's the first step. And then after that, then you break it down into other, smaller planes. Um, let me see. Maybe maybe I can show this example and
Sorry, I didn't mean to go
no,
off
no, no. I appreciate
trail.
that. I appreciate the question.
I thought that
Um,
alignment had something to do with planes.
it does. Well, okay. So rather than get into the weeds about like, uh, um, because we'll cover it more as we go for sure. But let's say, so if we really abstract down, you know what I mean? Like the first thing that we'll see is probably like, the figure, right? If we're looking out at something, we're looking for some sort of, positive figure, like, a body or a shape, you know what I mean? Those are uh, something dimensional. So if we wanted to capture whatever that was, to draw it or even to tattoo it, we want to start uh, with a point, right? So that's the most abstracted sort of first principle, of any sort of drawing or any sort of like, representation, the point. And then if you, connect with 2 points, right, and you connect them, right, you have a line. And then of course, if you have at least three, right, then you start to have a shape or a plane. And so again, so if you find a point and you can align it to another point, right, you can have the line and then you find a third point or a fourth, 4 points or however many points you get, then you start to find the planes. How do you represent them, right, is going to be, again, there's some sort of structure, right? So if we had like, an additional sort of plane down here and the light was coming from this direction, we'd have, of course, maybe some shade, some shadow or something here. Maybe this other plane will get more light. And then of course, if depending on how the light's hitting, it's on the ground, maybe there's a casted shadow, right, that we can start to see. Those would all be planes, right? This is, this light plane is one plane, the plane behind it is another one, and then the plane on the ground would be a third one, whatever shape it is that you're drawing, you're going to end up, you're going to end up like really talking about planes. So again, a very important and crucial, topic. But it would start with a point, right? You find one point, and then you can align it, find other points, you find alignments and relationships, and then seeing the light, the way the light describes it, just like Spirit mentioned in the beginning, that we really are seeing in a two-dimensional way. It's light that describes
Pardon me.
third dimension, for us. It gives us this sense of like what's closest to our eye versus what is further away, and so on and so forth. I don't know if that answers your question really, but I think if you were to start to using alignment, horizontal, vertical alignment, it can help you decipher the planes, So yeah, I hope that helps. I really do. It's a process, probably going from large to small, So just like it, in my video right now, I can see that the light is hitting the side of my face, right? And it's also hitting the side of my nose. And then, it's a more subtle to see, but I mean, again, there's another side of my face you can see, right, in the front. Again, the right side, the other side of the nose, right? So there are these planes that we're already seeing, right? And so now, how would I start to represent that and draw that? It would be by trying to align, in this case, like the light that I see versus the shadow that I see, which is how I would see any of the structure anyway, right? Like, I'm not made out of lines. There's light and shadow that's hitting me as an object, and then that's how I conceive of the line to draw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So anyway, I would love to see if if any of you get a chance, try to analyze some drawing that you've made and see if you can sort of find some of the alignments that are in it. It could be a drawing you've made, or it could be another reference, could be like a reference to something you're working on, or it could be, maybe another, like a famous work of art. We've done things similar to this in the past, sort of analyzing famous works. Spirit has done incredible work on this, sort of analyzing the composition of works. And I think this is similar, right? But it's kind of like, thinking more structurally, even more basic, like just, could be angles that are like parallel to each other, or even, just that basic sort of, vertical and horizontal alignment. These can be really effective ways to, to approach your drawing. Again, you could just draw a grid and sort of map it onto the grid, of course. But, over time, you may sort of find that you're kind of starting to do this almost instinctively. And you don't even need to draw the vertical lines or the horizontal lines. It's just a part of your process. You're looking and you're seeing these things. And then before you know it, it becomes this effortless kind of, again, intuitive kind of way of approaching things that makes your drawing look like magic. So anyway, that's what I want to challenge all of you to do. I know I'm going to give it a shot. So, right. That's it. I want to really thank all of you again for coming, and I hope you join me again next week. Before we go, could we just do some quick sign-offs? And if you want to, you could tell us, who you are and where we could find you. So, Medusa, you're the new addition to our class. Would you mind telling us who you are and where we could find you?
Hi, my name's Medusa. Thank you for doing this. By the way, this is awesome. I've been really wanting to try, West Coast time though. You can find me at medusaslays.com or Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end on Instagram. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm very tired.
Well, thank
Thanks.
you very much. Yeah, appreciate it. Elise, how about you next?
Hello, I'm Elise. I'm a 3D artist, and you can find me at Technodreaming on Instagram, and I'm from the Chicago area.
Thank you so much. And yeah, it was great. It was great getting to see your work today. And
Thank
thank you for
you.
coming.
Good seeing you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate you. Amber.
I'm Amber Morgaine from New Jersey, and you can find me on all social media platforms under Amber Morgaine.
Thank you, Amber. Yeah, just really, really loved your portrait today. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it because I was stressing over it. Something awful.
Well, no, I hope you're, I hope that you're proud. And of course, like
I
it's
am.
just one, yeah, it's just one more portrait, it's another experience you've had. And I hope you know, I just hope you feel encouraged and you just keep working on it because
It actually did. I feel like I was all stressed out for nothing. So it's definitely encouraged me to do more.
yeah, that's good. No, that's good. Yeah, that's how I felt about getting on the show today. I was all stressed out for nothing. It was great. It was really great having all of you. I feel the anxiety. You're not alone, right? We talked about that. You're
Yeah.
not alone in the anxiety. So, yeah, thank you very much. It was, yeah, really a pleasure. So,
Thank you for hosting. I love this show.
yeah, great. Thank you. Steven.
My name is Stephen Jesse. I'm from Virginia, and you can find me at Stephen Jesse on Instagram or StephenJesseTattoos.com.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. And again, thank you for sharing your work. It really was, it's so great to get to know all of you and get to really like see all the artwork that you make. But again, I think it's like we're building a community. You're all participating. That's so it's greater than or more than the sum of its parts, or other than the sum of its parts. There's a saying about that. But thank you, seriously, I really appreciate you. So thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Spirit.
Hey, what's happening? You know how like the universe is, I don't know if this relates, but somehow like all the stuff in the universe does not account for the gravity that is in the universe. So the rest of it is, they call it dark matter. It just made me think about that. So basically, if you took all the stuff in the universe and weighed it, it's only like a small percentage of what the entire universe weighs. And so they're like, what the hell else is the rest of this stuff, And they call that dark matter. So that kind of just made me think about this is better than the sum of its parts, because yeah, we all get to mix and mingle and really just kind of have a fellowship. And this is great, man. It's just it's just like when Van Gogh met Paul Gauguin. They just kind of formed this really artistic relationship to help both of their artistic careers go in directions untold. You can find me at Instagram at Tattoos by Spirit, TikTok Tattoos by Spirit, and tattoosbyspirit.com.
Yeah, thank you. Seriously, thank you again. Thanks for the video today. That was great. That was a great addition. And it's always like sometimes the best part of class, like it's video day.
Yeah.
So I loved it. And I really love all of the contributions that everybody makes. And like you said, it does doesn't account for the gravity of what we're doing. There's and hopefully all of you that are watching that are feeling that too, right? That are you're getting getting something out of this yourself as well. You're a part of it too, even though it's us here talking, it's us here drawing and stuff. You're watching this, you're a part of this too. So yeah, I want to thank everybody I didn't even check the chat today. There's probably some, sure there's some chat. So say hey to the chat. And
Hi, chat.
yeah,
Hi,
hey
chat.
Hey,
chat.
chat.
We love you, chat. So, but anyway, I'm James Wisdom. This is Drawing for Tattooers. You can find me on Instagram at Tattooing Wisdom and tattooingwisdom.com. I want to thank everybody for coming, and keep up the good work, right? Keep on drawing, right? Happy drawing, right? And I'll see you all next stream. Bye.